Ma'am, am I audible? Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible. You can continue.
Okay. So good morning all. Good morning all. I, Ms. Julie Ravindra Padwal, welcome you all to a webinar on hospital and clinical pharmacy, which is organized by Association of Pharmaceutical Research, APR, DY Patil University School of Pharmacy, Scientific Partner BioLeaks Worldwide, and Research Partner United Innovators. About Association of Pharmaceutical Research. Association of Pharmaceutical Research is one of the world's leading professional association caring for people. APR is non-profitable professional association meant for research and development in the field of pharmaceutical science and technology. APR is an international forum for researchers, academicians, doctors, and practitioners for sharing the knowledge and innovation in the field of pharmaceutical science and technology. APR aims to bring together worldwide researchers and professionals, encourage intellectual development, and providing the opportunities for networking and collaboration. APR meets with its objective through academic networking, meetings, conferences, projects, research publications, academic awards, and scholarships. APR strives to enrich from its diverse group of advisory members. APR brings together the pharmacologists, life scientists, pharmaceutical practitioners, and researchers to advance the application of pharmaceutical science and technology to the public. APR delivers access to its members, the industry's most essential technical information by organizing the conferences, workshop, annual convention meeting, and provides networking opportunities both locally and globally. Members have the ability to stay current in their chosen profession, connect with the peers, and invest in the future. About DY Patil University School of Pharmacy. DY Patil, deemed to be University School of Pharmacy, look forward to establishing itself as a center of quality education and industry-oriented training in the field of pharmaceutical sciences. As the Indian pharmaceutical market is growing day by day, and India has been proving to be the world leader in various segments of the pharmaceutical industry, we, DY Patil University School of Pharmacy, look forward to establishing ourselves as a center for industry academia collaboration. DY Patil, deemed to be University School of Pharmacy, facilities, human resource, and ethics are fully aimed at 360-degree development of students. We wish to establish the School of Pharmacy as the epicenter of knowledge and human values. Thus, students coming out of this institution would be known as the best pharma professionals with the high emotional quotient. Innovation being the buzzword all around, we intend to take focused efforts to promote and nurture a culture of innovation among the budding pharmacists so that they can play an active role in the improvisation of the healthcare area of the nation. DY Patil, deemed to be University School of Pharmacy, firmly believe that success of our students is our success. And hence, we are committed and passionate to provide the best of the best within us and ensure we contribute positively to the human resource of the nation. Today, we are having our expert speaker, Mr. Prashant Joshi, sir, from India. I would like to welcome a speaker, Mr. Prashant Joshi, sir, who is an Executive Director at Drug Safety Labcorp Drug Development. Prashant Joshi, sir, is an Executive Director at Drug Safety Labcorp Development. He has been a pharmacist by education with over 23 years of pharmaceutical industry experience with more than 14 years in the safety and risk management. He specializes in the hands-on experience in end-to-end safety and risk management service, including handling contact centers to risk management and safety surveillance. Hands-on experience on various global safety databases like AERS, etc. His experience in managing offshore delivery as a project manager, delivery manager, and delivery partner for end-to-end SRM services, heading PV practice and leading function quality unit and audit readiness. He led the pre-sales and solution teams and was instrumental in the significant success rate for small to mid-sized deals. He has implemented new safety regulations for multiple clients internally and has extensive literature process experience. He managed regulatory inspections, new clients, due diligence, and audits in the safety and risk management. He has been closely working with the transformation team for automation initiatives and providing input to other transformation initiatives with significant experience in managing the EARTH database implementation, hosting, and data management. So now you can start with the lecture session.
Yeah, thank you, Shifali. Really appreciate that. And let me share my screen. Okay, if you're able to see the screen now?
Yes, sir, we can see it.
All right, great. Thank you very much for this wonderful introduction, and really appreciate APR and DY Patil University and School of Pharmacy for inviting me as one of the speakers in this webinar. which is on the hospital and clinical pharmacy. This is a very standard disclaimer, like, in any movie, if it starts, it says that kahani ke sabhi patra kalpanik hai, etc., etc. So this is a standard disclaimer here as well, that the views and opinion expressed in the following PPT is nothing directly attributed to APR or DY Patil or any other officers, employees, etc. It is my personal views, and neither to my organization that I represent. All right, I honestly, I'm not really going to be sort of teaching anything at this point in time. I mean, you guys have done your, or you're either studying the pharmacy, or you might have completed your pharmacy educations, but it's more in terms of like, a teaching point of view, whatever that has been, experience that I have gathered or I have understood is what I'll try to bring in here with some of the examples which might relate to you and would help you sort of learn a little bit of it. But let me start with the theory part of it, which is a definition of clinical and hospital pharmacy. It says that a health science discipline in which pharmacists provide patient care that optimizes medication therapy and promotes health and the disease prevention. And these three are the key parts that I'll be covering even in the next few slides, is as the core of the clinical pharmacy or the hospital pharmacy. And one of the interesting fact that we see here is the clinical pharmacists work directly with physicians and patients in a hospital or any other healthcare facility. And all the pharmacy people or pharmacists, we are healthcare professionals. So we are the HCPs who are providing the healthcare services in various different domains and understanding. Right? And I'll touch base on these few qualities, but this is a highly skilled job. And trust me, because when we'll go through this requires a lot of skills. It's not just the theory, but a lot of sort of practical understanding, knowledge, and hence it is also something highly responsible job as well. And some of those kind of skills that I have listed here is what I just want to kind of quickly walk you through. One is communication. A very important aspect of a clinical pharmacist is communication, because he or she would deal with multiple sort of patients or various different type of people, individuals on a daily basis. So communication is one of the key aspect of it. And let me tell you, I mean, it is not necessary you have to be excellent in English communication. It is not required, always. It depends upon what kind of a setting that you are in. I'll tell you, one of my very close friends works in a government hospital in Punjab. And he is not great in English. I mean, and most of us, because we are native Hindi speakers or Marathi speakers at this, right? So we may not be excellent in English. It's absolutely okay. But as much as we are able to kind of, give the right guidance to the, patients, or if we do our job right, is what the communication is all about. And as I'm telling you about my friend, he is very popular amongst all the sort of hospital staffs, people, physicians, or even the patients. Many a time when patients would approach him first before they are going it to the physician, and that shows that how good he is in the communication. So it can be in your local language, absolutely okay. But the key part is that you are giving the right information. You are sort of touching patients at the right point, and what is something that he's expecting us or from you is what you are sort of giving it to them. So that's where the communication plays a very key role, not the language. It's a communication. Second is the medical knowledge and also a therapy knowledge. And throughout these 4 years of this curriculum, one key aspect, and maybe my suggestion would be to please understand the medicine. And that's the core thing that a pharmacist need to know. In addition to the physiology, the anatomy, the other aspects of the diseases, etc., one of the key point for us is medicinal knowledge in how the drug is working. What are the, is the efficacy point? What is the failure or safety points? What's the mechanism of actions, etc. It's very important, and maybe combined with therapy knowledge, we also need to understand the disease really well so that we can advise the right therapy. As a clinical pharmacist, I'm telling you again, many a time in our society, patients reach pharmacists first because we are more approachable. By the time they would reach to physicians, sometimes, because of the, kind of, schedule that physicians run in, patients may not be very comfortable, speaking everything, but they would mostly be comfortable speaking with the pharmacists. And we have seen in our day-to-day life, I mean, even if I, as a patient, when I go to a hospital pharmacy, I try to ask few questions to him, which I may not have asked really to the physician as well. More on the medicines, of course, but that's where it is so important for us to understand the medicine and the therapy for which the medicine is prescribed overall, right? Third, and I feel this is one of the most important aspect, is the integrity. We know a lot of data. We have a lot of information about the patients. We have a lot of information about the hospital for which we are working or the society that we are working in. And we have the sensitive information. We have this confidential information. Please understand, these are not to be divulged. These are not something that you should be sort of, informing it to the others. In fact, even in India, but if you go to the developed countries, like in the US, you have HIPAA, which is a patient data privacy law. And GDPR is a very latest in the EU and is a very strong law, which is a general data protection regulation. And you Google it, you will sort of find all the details and information about this and how critical this integrity is becoming. Information. See, I'll tell you, I mean, I have seen some of the people doing a very loose talk and saying, that Sharma ji ka ladka, he has a tuberculosis. We should not be divulging such kind of an information. We should make sure that we are protecting the data and the information that the patient has given it to us. I'm telling you, as a pharmacist, we know a lot of even secretive information as well, which probably society and many of the people would not be knowing it. Hence, integrity is one of the key aspects that a clinical pharmacist should follow. And to make sure that we are abiding to the local data privacy laws, we are abiding to the national data privacy laws, and some of these, as I mentioned, the HIPAA and the GDPR and all of it, because the world is connected today. We never know that what we are giving the information may impact a patient in EU or in US, and we may be sort of liable to get into the legal trouble if we are divulging so much of an information across. So please follow this integrity, be very honest to your job. Respect, again, somewhere I would say connected to the first part of it, which is communication. If we are respecting this way of communication, I think, we would certainly have more and more, people approaching you. Pharmacist is approachable. Again, I'm saying, and pharmacist is approachable, and we need to really sort of respect this part, that people, when they are coming with a lot of expectation. I'll touch quickly in the next slide as well at what we need to give and what we should not be. A passion and commitment certainly is something that we need to bring in. If we are not, then we are not doing justice to our jobs. So that's on the skills that we need to acquire as a clinical pharmacist. Some of the key responsibilities, and I go back to the first slide where I was talking about the promoting the health, prevention of the diseases, and also on the optimizing the drug therapy. And so one of the key aspects of the clinical pharmacist, or across the pharmacist, I would say, is the medical information. is something that we need to provide the right medical information. And again, please avoid these loose talks that we typically do in standing in the pharmacy, or even in the canteens, or where we kind of if the patient is coming to you for a right advice, our job is to stick to the medicine. Our job is to stick to the dosing. Our job is to stick to making them understand how this medicine is going to help them, and completing the therapy, and making sure that patient has understood what time the medication has to be taken, etc. Our job is not really to advise him or her on the disease, or on whether the prescription that a physician has given is right or wrong. Again, multiple examples that you would realize, and you'll probably see in the society, where we do these loose talks and talk about it. Are ye to antibiotic diya hai, you will be absolutely okay in 2 days. Please don't say that, because a patient would go to or would follow your advice, and then it is also possible that he or she would stop the antibiotic in 2 days. And we all know an antibiotic, if it is not completed, can lead to a antibiotic resistance, and which is something that next time when the same antibiotic is prescribed to the patient, it would not work. And resistance, we all know, is a big issue at this point in time in the antibiotic therapies, right? I mean, just an example I'm giving is that sometimes these kind of loose information can lead to a problem to the patient. Physician would not be knowing that he has stopped antibiotic after 2 days because he started feeling really well. But physician is going to prescribe the same antibiotic again next time, probably considering that it worked in past, but actually it would not, because he has developed the resistance. So please do not give the information, or half information, or incorrect information. Our job is to tell them exactly what a physician has prescribed, and always praise that you would be okay if you are taking these medications on time as prescribed, and for the duration that it is prescribed. Right. A medical information also would mean that you are providing the information, or giving the information about a little bit about the therapy. Some antibiotic is probably just a 5-day or 10 days or 15 days therapy, but there may be some other therapies which would be very long duration, like 3 months, 6 months, sometimes a year or so. And we know, diabetes and hypertension, all of these are like, very long-term therapies. So we need to make sure that we are giving them the right information about the dosing, about the medication, not about the health of the patient, not about the disease itself. If they are asking, please, and we have been taught during our trainings as well, is that please tell patient that I am not the right person to advise on your health. Please connect or contact your physician. This is the training that we were provided when I was doing the medical information for one of the largest companies. So those things that we need to make sure that we are following it. Second is the patient safety. Another very important aspect. I'll tell you, most of the time, something that we talk a lot about, the efficacy. When the patient would come, we will tell them, okay, this medication is going to work for you, and there are multiple data, information, literatures available when the patient, this medication has worked really well for you. We also need to educate patient about the safety, which means that there are potential drug side effects that he or she may experience. Please do not ignore any, even if they are listed in the prescribing information or the patient leaflet that is along with the package insert. It mentions some of the commonly observed side effects of the medication. But please do not avoid these. Even if the patient comes to you and mentions that, okay, if after taking this medication, I felt like nauseating, or I felt like vomiting, or I had a diarrhea, or any other, side effect, please don't judge whether these are serious side effects or non-serious side effects, but make sure that you have informed this to the patient safety unit of the hospitals, or you can directly contact on the toll-free number that are typically mentioned on the package inserts, or even the medicine leaflet, where to reach to. There are email IDs of every organization that, and they need to provide this. It could be drug safety at xyzpharma.com, or anything, or a pharmacovigilance at 123.com, something. So follow these instructions and help. And this is something, a part which I go back to the definition where it talks about disease prevention, or we sort of helping disease prevention by providing more and more data on the safety and the efficacy of the medication, so that we come up, and especially the pharma companies come up with the better medications. Multiple examples that we know that how the patient safety, thalidomide tragedy, everyone is aware about it. There are multiple. Vioxx is the another example. Nimesulide is another example where a lot of right data information about the safety of medications was provided, and those medications then eventually was either stopped or controlled in the society, right? So all of this is important, that we are informing to the right authorities. We can do it directly to the drug safety unit of the hospital, or we can directly send the data to the pharma organizations. But please do not ignore. Please do not let the patient know that ये तो चलता है, क्या तेरे को थोड़ा सा सर दर्द ही तो हुआ है. It is okay. It is not okay, guys. It is absolutely not okay to ignore the side effects that the medication has brought into the patient, irrespective of whether it is a small, simple, non-serious side effect, or even if, unfortunately, in case a patient had to be hospitalized. Don't ignore anything, right? And last is developing the Ctdm, and again, bringing it to the definition where I said that promoting the health and also optimizing the drug therapy. And something that a clinical pharmacist would always do is collaborate with the physicians and other panel of the hospital research development team, where we are kind of collaborating the drug therapy management. COVID is a classical example of the Ctdm, where a clinical pharmacist, along with physicians and the other sort of intellectual staffs of the hospitals, would bring in this regime. If you might have observed, some hospitals would give 10 or 8 or 10 drug therapy. Some hospitals would give 6 drug therapy as part of the COVID management. But it is all because of this collaborative drug therapy management regime that typically is created in the hospitals, and clinical pharmacist plays one of the key role in this as well. All right. Now, in next couple of slides, I'll really not talk very specific to the clinical pharmacy, but more in general, what different opportunities that, as a pharmacist we would have. And I go back to probably 30 years ago when, I was doing my pharmacy, and my dad has actually, asked me to get admission in the pharmacy, because he was very focused on getting some or the other technical education for me. And I really thank him for all support that he had given it to me. But having said that, at that time we weren't really aware or much aware about what pharmacy is. When I was studying, when I would come back to during the vacation, hardly few people would really know what pharmacy is, right? And then when we passed out the pharmacy, we had a couple of options or opportunities available. Either I become a medical representative, which eventually I was, or think about a drug inspector, which was far from a reality. Honestly, I mean, yes, when we were doing pharmacy, we were dreaming of becoming a drug inspector. But when we finished the pharmacy, we realized that, it is probably, not the right, and it's not going to happen so quick, right? And otherwise, you open your business, open the, drug shop or medicine shop, and then, to do this. And again, the fact is that this field has evolved a lot, and all the positives. And look at, I have just given very few. I would say probably it's not even 30-40% of the other opportunities available with the pharmacy graduates. But to name few, talking about the clinical pharmacists, retail pharmacists from the hospital and business point of view, the pharma companies you can get into the production unit, the manufacturing, quality control department. You can get into the sales and marketing. The regulatory affairs is something that has come up in last 10 years a lot. Clinical trial management, again, has come up big time in last 10 or 12 years. Research, new drug development in the corporate, in the KPOs and, your CROs and outsourcing businesses, where you can get into the pharmacovigilance and the patient safety as what I'm working. Medical information, as I was talking about, it is, there's a huge demand of pharmacists who can provide the medical information to multiple corporates, even to the pharma companies as well, and the clinical data management. Again, I'm telling you, these are very few high level opportunities, but multiple other opportunities that are available as well with the pharmacy. This field has evolved a lot. People have started realizing the importance of pharmacy now. Again, in going back to the earlier times, pharmacy was considered as, you would open the medical store probably. That used to be the kind of understanding about the pharmacy. But today there are multiple opportunities opened up. There are, I would say, in all the positive sense, this education certainly is playing an important role in the society, and it would continue to play an important role in the society as well. So these are few opportunities. So please don't dishearten yourself that, I got a pharmacy seat, and would I really be able to be successful in the life? Of course, yes, you would be, because there's a humongous opportunities. And, as initially, was described, a lot of healthcare awareness that has been brought in thanks to the D.Y. Patil University and APR and many other organizations who are sort of spreading these positives about the, healthcare. And pharmacists being a healthcare provider, becomes more and more open to get the opportunities across the society. Now, and I'm going to the last slide of mine now, and then we can probably open up for the questions and answers. However, this is my personal thought, honestly. In last 23, 24 years. And again, this is not limited to the clinical pharmacy. It is to the entire all the pharmacists, I would say, or all the students who are pursuing this pharmacy education. This is based upon my 23 years of experience that I'm trying bringing it up. Please, if possible, pay attention to it. There is no shortcut in the life to success. The shortest route to a success is hard work, and probably the longest route also is the hard work. There's no alternate. I'll tell you, I have seen my father waking up at 5 o'clock, sleeping at 11 o'clock in the night, doing really classical hard work, I would say, and became a successful, and was able to make us successful as well as what hard work. And similarly, I'm following the same, what I've seen from my dad. Having said this, another aspect is that, as a pharmacist, when we are, or when we chose this subject of the education, it was not, for most of us, it was not by choice. it was probably default because we either have not done great in the NEET examinations or any other competitive examination, or we have been more or less pretty average or little above average candidates who would then get the pharmacy seats. Nothing to dishearten it, nothing to dishearten about it, because if we put the right effort and hard work, I'm telling you, in this world, pharmacists are doing much, much better than many other professional educations. So please, again, there's no alternate to hard work. It's no more a 9 to 6 job if we want to be successful in this field. You have to do extra. You have to put more and more efforts. Yeah. And this is what I had done. And there was time, honestly, I'm telling you that, I was working 15, 16 hours a day. I learned a lot in that short period. The more you put the efforts, the more you learn in the short period, and the faster you would grow always. So that's what the key of the hard work is, right? So one is hard work. Second is, go for passion. Do things and be passionate about it. Enjoy it. Enjoy your work that you are doing it. Learn from it. A passion is all about enjoying your work, putting your everything into it. Money would follow. And my boss always says this, and he's absolutely right, because I have followed his advice of most of the time is this: first get into the role and then into the designations. Don't first focus on the designation. When will I become a manager? Today I am a lead. When will I become a manager? When will I become a director? Don't run for the designations. Run for the role. Take the role that you want to pick up the next. If you are doing a manager's role today and you want to become a director, then please understand that what are the qualities that I need to imbibe to become a director, and then go for it with the passion. This is what would help you more than running for. I've seen nowadays a lot of new people, they quit jobs so frequently. I'm not sure how much are you learning by quitting a job in 1 year, 2 years time. In my 23 years of the life, I'm telling, in the service life, I'll tell you, I worked for almost 9 years in Sun Pharma in the sales and marketing, and last 14 years in this Labcorp into the patient safety and the risk management. Just 2 jobs. And I'm so happy, extremely successful today, and passionate about what I have done. I'm not saying that you stick to 1 or 2 jobs, it depends, but please don't change it so frequently. If you want to learn, then please stick to the job for some time, learn from there, leave only in case if you have now bored or you are not enjoying, which is again talking about the passion. If you are not passionate about that, then you leave it. But don't leave it for money. Don't leave because someone else is becoming, you see someone else becoming successful because he is frequently changing the jobs. I've seen, and again, multiple examples where maybe for initial couple of years the individual may be successful, but then suddenly he would bring his skills down and would struggle actually, because he is not equipped or skilled for the job he got just because he changed in the companies. So that is one of my strongest advice, I would say, is that please be passionate, enjoy your work other than putting the hard work. Embrace the technology, guys. And again, we at the start, Safari ma'am has spoken about being innovative. Rather, DY Patil University being very innovative about it. We have to, and we would be innovative if we are embracing technology. This is the future. There is no doubt about it. You like it or you don't like it, but this is the future. And make sure that you have understood the technology. Make sure that you are participating in success of the. I'll tell you, a lot of processes that were in past used to be manual, handwritten, going through that bureaucratic process of upgrades or updates has changed with the help of these technologies. Today, everything is so fast because of the technology. Now we are talking about even the human intelligence or the artificial intelligence. We are seeing in a lot of non-pharma businesses where artificial intelligence is playing a key role. I mean, Google is one of the largest in terms of artificial intelligence, right? We see that the information we type in the Google, immediately you will see some or the other advertisement in your email about what information that we were typing about. It's all about the artificial intelligence, right? So embrace this technology in pharma sector typically, and again, as historically, a pharma sector has been one of the laziest in terms of change. A 20-year-old processes were being followed, until some time. But with the help of the technology now, even pharma sector is becoming more and more innovative. There are a lot of technologies. I'm telling you, in my company called Laboratory Corporation, it is Labcorp. You Google it, you will realize that the amount of innovation in the laboratory section or in the laboratory and the diagnostics that the companies are doing, it is amazing, impossible. I'll tell you one of the examples that in our company is trying or doing a research is, actually, you've seen in the movies, right? You'll put the chip inside under the skin, and all your predictive analysis is going to be done through these technologies. A huge number of regenerative medicines. Then again, you Google it and you will find it, a lot of technology being used in the regenerative medicines that the research is going on. Genomics, again, another very upcoming field in the gene sequencing and all of it. It is all done through technology. No more a human involvement in terms of performing the sequencing, understanding what are the precursors or predecessors of the disease that can be lead to one or two or three of diseases in the individuals. So all of this is now today done through these technologies. So please embrace technology. Don't shy away from it. Computer is the closest buddy of you in coming time. So take this. Another is change. Adopt change, because the change itself has changed. And please keep yourself upgraded. Another important aspect of my advice would be making sure that I'll tell you another one of the example. Again, probably in our days, earlier days, 20 years ago, we used to pay for information. We would either buy a book to read, or go to the libraries, pay a monthly fee to the library to really gain the knowledge, understand what is happening in today's world, what is the latest that is coming in. Today, it is all free. Google has completely transformed the way that the information or the knowledge is gathered today. You Google it, you find everything about that particular topic. You don't need to pay for it. It's absolutely free. So this is the change. And we need to understand one important aspect of this change. Having a knowledge or having an information is no big deal today. Earlier, it used to be, if I have a knowledge, I used to be like, king of that area. Today, no, we are not. Only Google is the king of all the areas, right? But what is important is understanding how to imply or apply this knowledge and how to implement the knowledge that I have gathered through, which means that we have to keep upgrading ourselves. It's like, software, right? In the software, if you are using the old software, then probably you are the backwards, right? You don't really know what is happening in the latest. Similarly, in the world of the pharmacy as well, you have to keep yourself upgraded. Even today, I'm telling you, in the area that I'm working in the patient safety, there are multiple regulations that are coming up, whether it is through the PVPI or the DCGI in India, whether it is through the FDA in US or MHRA in UK. I have to make sure that I am completely upgraded with what the new change is coming in. And if I do not implement that change, then I am non-compliant, and I can have critical issues with the processes that I'm following. So it is important that we adapt the change, and then not only adapt it, upgrade, keep ourselves upgraded every time. And last, take pride, guys. Take pride in what we are. We are healthcare professionals. We are an important sect of the society. We have to be responsible in terms of what we are telling, what we are providing the information to the patient, to the society. At the same time, please take pride in what we are doing. During the COVID time, I think other than the physicians or other sort of in healthcare professionals, nurses and all, another important role that is being played by any other healthcare professional is the pharmacist as well. COVID is just an example because it happened so suddenly, but in general, in the world of medicine, we play key role in it, and take pride in this. Take pride in this case. With this, I will conclude. Again, will thank APR, DY Patil University School of Pharmacy, and all the sort of scientific sponsors. Thank you very much. I will probably open for the questions if you guys have. Or again, you can reach me at my email. You can connect me on the LinkedIn. Mobile as well. Preferably always would be email or LinkedIn, but if you need any help, you want to call me or WhatsApp me, please don't shy away. Feel free to connect anytime. Okay, with this, any questions if you have, or any thoughts, ideas, next 10 minutes we can probably go through these question answer round if there are any.
Thank you for your informative session. If any of them is having question, they can put it in the chat box.
So I see one question from an attendee, which is the best textbook for drug inspector? I'm really sorry, I will not be able to answer you this directly, which is the best textbook for the drug inspector. But my advice, honestly, would be to, for you to become a drug inspector, other than all the, formalities and, government procedures, etc. And one of the key suggestion I would have is to understand the regulations that India has. One of the most important is Schedule Y, right? We need to know what kind of medication under which schedule it is, and what is each schedule has. Read the pharmacopoeia, because there are standards of the drugs that we need to follow as a manufacturer. We also need to follow as a retail pharmacist, right? So as a drug inspector, you need to have a knowledge of the medicine, the knowledge of the regulations that we have today. Again, Schedule Y is one of the key for the drug inspector, and other, Indian pharmacopoeia or British pharmacopoeia or the US pharmacopoeia, but mostly follow these three: the USP, IP, and the BP, for you to really understand what standards that we need to have when we are manufacturing or even storing the medications. I hope that I was able to give you some example. All right, I see another question is, what about the fellowship program and about fellowship that we can do? I mean, there are a lot of fellowship programs that are going under. I mean, not only for clinical pharmacy, but in general, there are fellowship programs. And guys, please don't shy away from educating yourselves. Continue educating yourself. As I said, please upgrade yourself with any sort of programs that you are running, or any short courses that you want to kind of do it. Please go on and do that. I mean, again, I'm telling you, I will not be really able to exactly tell you which fellowship program is good, but you as an individual will have to look at what is your key interest area, and then enroll in those fellowship programs and make sure that you are completing it. Don't go by just because your other friend is doing it. He may be very interested in one particular part of the program. However, you may not be. So please follow your own intelligence, and don't just go because your friend is going. But there are multiple fellowship programs, and you can enroll for it. Again, as I said, I cannot really tell one or two, because it is not something that I'm biased about one or two fellowship programs. There are multiple, and all are good actually. Okay, interesting. What are the jobs available for Pharmd graduate except for the pharmacovigilance and the clinical research associate? So Pharmd, I don't think pharmacovigilance honestly is something that a Pharmd graduate would opt for. A Pharmd graduate is someone who has a very good understanding of the medicine. A medical information is something that a Pharmd graduate should really focus on. Within a pharma company, there is a department called as medical information, or the medical communication is what it is mentioned as well. A Pharmd would have an advantage over other pharmacy graduates, because a Pharmd has actually done a lot on the drugs, right? So that medical information or medical communication is one. A second is in terms of product management. Within the corporates, within the pharma companies, there are in department where they come up with a lot of educational material for the patients, for physicians, for the society. Again, a Pharmd graduate can play a very key and critical role in this. And my sense is that a Pharmd graduate is again appropriate for even leading this, what I was talking about, the Ctdm, the collaborative CDTM, collaborative drug therapy management. Pharmd graduate can certainly work very closely with the physicians in the hospital to come up with the right regimen for the drugs. Sorry, for the diseases. It's not just, it's not about the short-term therapies. It is about the long-term therapies. It is about the cancers that we are today seeing. It is about in the hypertension. It is about the neurological disorders that we are seeing. A Pharmd graduate can play a very key role in collaborating with the physicians to come up with the newer therapies in the hospital setup. All right. Another question is, what is the best course after 4th year? I am in pharma. Again, I go back to that earlier, question on the fellowship program, or follow your dream in the sense that what you want to do it. Honestly, I mean, when I completed my 4th year, I was completely drained out. I really didn't want to do M.Pharm or, pursue any other, higher education. I was done with the studies at the time, though it was a mistake probably. And I would never advise anyone to kind of, stop studying even if you are passionate about it. I mean, if you want to do it, do it. Please don't sort of shy away from education. It would always teach you something which you can learn and apply in the future. So follow your dream, what you want to do. There are multiple things available. Pharmd, you want to do nowadays. Even newer courses are coming up. 2 years advanced diploma program in pharmacovigilance, in clinical research, in regulatory affairs, in hospital pharmacy. You have, I mean, there's nothing, see, there's no best, honestly. You are the best. You know what you want to follow, and sort of go for it. But don't stop. As I said, keep upgrading yourself, keep educating yourself. Okay, jobs for the research development sector. I think it's a upcoming field. Again, a lot of Indian companies nowadays have started putting focus on the research. I know Sun Pharma, I know Glenmark doing it, Cipla doing it, and many other Indian. I mean, other than I'm talking about the GSKs or the Pfizer's or the Sanofi's world, a lot of Indian companies have started doing research. And Cadila has a big research center. Sun Pharma has a big research center. Of course, yes, the newer and newer therapies. I touched very briefly on these regenerative medicines, on the gene therapy that is going to be probably future of the medicines. Focus on those. Look at where most of the research is happening, and then yes, please go for it. I mean, research is going to stay for many years, and is certainly one of the most important field, I would say, that you can sort of look at for. Pharmd jobs in the industry, we did discuss about it. There is another question. I'm just very selecting now very few. Advancements and updates needed to join pharmacovigilance department. Nothing. I mean, if all you need to be in the pharmacovigilance department is knowing the medicine, and that's the core of the pharmacy, right? So make sure that you have a very good and strong pharmacology. You have understood, the drugs well, the efficacy as well as the safety part of it, and gain experience. I'm telling you, pharmacovigilance is more than a knowledge; is a skilled job, which means that you would probably need to understand this function first by applying yourself into this part, and then become more successful in the pharmacovigilance. For all of us, whether it is myself or my other colleagues, it took almost 2 years, 3 years to really understand what the patient safety or pharmacovigilance is. It's a very niche area of pharmacy, I would say. So yes, you have to be really good in pharmacology for sure. At the same time, understand the a chemistry behind the medicine, and also efficacy and the safety of the drugs. Then there is I am studying. Okay, so Pharmd again. What about MSc in nanomedicine? Very good. I mean, whoever has asked this question seems to have really done a good research on the nanomedicine. In another area that is upcoming, please go ahead. It's a very good field, nanomedicine. Although in India, probably it is may not have still developed at this point in time as it is expected. But I'm telling you, because I work in corporate and we have multiple pharma clients, especially in the biotechnology field, this nanomedicine is coming up really well, and there are huge amount of investments are being done in nanomedicine. Other than I was talking about the gene therapy or the regenerative medicine, nanomedicine is another very important area. So thank you very much for bringing this. It's a good prospect for sure. All right. Another area, what are the opportunities in research? Okay, we did touch base about it. I mean, clinical research is one part of it, but at the same time, a new drug development is another in aspect. I was reading an article some time ago, while the world is, or the pharma companies specifically, focusing a lot on newer and newer therapies coming up, like, something around the COVID medication. I mean, what I'm talking about is the vaccine, but there are companies who are now focusing on antivirals as well. So you would see a lot of new antivirals coming up, something like you have, antiviral for the H1N1. Oseltamivir, right? So similarly, there would be some more the newer therapies coming in the area of COVID-19 as well as an antiviral therapy. But think about this, and I was talking about antibiotic resistance as one of the threat. And I was reading this article, and I was really touched by the author was so honest, saying that in last many years there has been no new or what you call innovative medicine in the field of the bacterial infections. And whatever the cephalosporins that we are seeing nowadays is more and more becoming resistance. The macrolides have been resistant in past many years now. The ciprofloxacins, or the world of floxacins also is something that you are not seeing anything new in this. Penicillins probably has been the only strongest medicine in today's world that is still remain as one of the key, whether it is ampicillin, empoxin. The world is coming back to the old penicillin regimes as well. So there's nothing much has happened in this in the field of bacterial infection, or the antibacterials that we can call it. It's something to think about it, guys. I mean, we as a pharmacist are the pioneers in terms of bringing these newer medicines into the market. Oncology, or the cancer, again, unfortunately, but it says that probably in coming few years it is going to be almost 1/3 of the diseases would be because of the cancer. A lot of research going on it, but please, if you get an opportunity, be part of these research and give it back to the society, because society needs us at this point in time. We know different type of diseases coming up. They need us. We are again, as I said, take pride in being a pharmacist, because we are the healthcare providers. So yes, there are a lot of innovative job opportunities coming up. Please, be part of it and feel pride in what you are doing it. Okay, I think. I have taken few of the questions, not able to probably completely respond to each one of it, and apologies if I have. I've honestly not been biased in picking those. As it is coming on the screen, I'm trying and picking those, but apologies in case if I'm not able to answer to some of you. But I don't know how it happens, but I can probably respond to some of those which I have not been able to touch. Back to the APR, and in case if they and the DY Patil, and if they want to publish it, your choice. I can do that if that helps. Okay, so go on.
Thank you, sir. We'll go for the vote of thanks. On the behalf of Association of Pharmaceutical Research, APR, and DY Patil University School of Pharmacy, I would like to express my gratitude to speaker for the presence and contribution to making this webinar a more informative and interesting session. APR extends our sincere gratitude to our speaker and the participants to take out time for the busy schedule to grace the event. Thank you, sir, and
thank you very much. Really appreciate.
For the downloading the certificate, there are certain steps which I'll read out. First, you have to sign it to your APR account. If you are a new member, then you have to sign up. Then you have to create the alphanumeric password. And third, you will be getting the OPD to your email. Using that, you have to kindly log into your account. Then after login, you have to click on the left side of the menu. Then you have to click on the certificates and rewards, and then you have to download your certificate. The links are provided for the registration. Thank you. Thank you once again, sir.
Thank you very much. I'll forward this presentation to you, and you can probably give it to the participants as well.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Take care. Bye-bye.